Okay, welcome back. So this is the second part of that part 3 video. Remember, I just ran out of my 15 minutes of time. So we just have to finish up this last problem, and that's it for this section of notes. And just remember, kind of recap, we're going to do the same exact thing we did in problem number 6. So 6 and 7 are essentially the same problem, but we just have to graph the triangle first. And so let's start with that. So P is at negative 3, 4. So we'd go left 3, up 4, put a dot there. That's where our P is. And then Q is right and left 0, and then down 5, put a dot there. There's Q. And then R is right 2, up 7. Puts us right at the top. So that's R. And now we can connect those dots. And there's our triangle, right? And so we need to know, is this a right triangle, a acute triangle, or an obtuse triangle? And so for us to do that, we need to know the length of all 3 sides. And then whatever's the biggest will be C. We'll square that one. We'll square and add the other two together. And then we're looking, are those things equal? Are they less than? Or are they greater? So I'm going to erase these arrows. Let's start working on getting these sides. Remember that involves Pythagorean theorem as well. So let's start with maybe like point PR or line side PR, for instance. So if we make our triangle on the outside of PR, remember there's a right triangle. PR, the side we want, is across from our 90, so that's always C. And so we can figure that out because the left side of this right triangle we just drew is 3 units. The top is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so if we do 3 squared plus 5 squared, that'll give us what side PR squared is. So let's figure this out quickly. 3 squared is 9, 5 squared is 25. That equals PR squared. Add those together, that's 34. That equals PR squared. And then as always, we want to take the square root. And so our side PR is whatever the square root of 34 is, which is 5.8. Perfect. So I am going to erase all that mess and just remind us that this side now, everything we did there tells us that this side is 5.8 units long. So let's do that again on the other two sides. Maybe go to PQ now. So we're going down till we hit the dot and then over. The over section was 1, 2, 3 units. The up and down section was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units. And so the side we want, which is side PQ, that'll be our C. And so we just do the same thing we just did with the green. We're going to do 9 squared plus 3 squared. That'll equal our PQ squared this time. Square those things and add them together, and we get 90. So 90 is what we get when we square 9 and square 3 and add them together. That equals, again, PQ squared. So then we take the square root, and PQ itself is going to equal 9.5. All right. Now, we just need to do that one more time with the other side, but too much erasing. Let's clear this up a little bit and just remind ourselves. I'll redraw that. Just remind ourselves real quick. This side was side PQ, and we just found out that it is 9.5 units. Let's write a 9.5 here. So again, lastly, we'll perform that same deal over here for QR. The bottom piece was 2 units. Up and down, it looks like is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's pretty long. And so our side QR, that's going to be our C this time. So we square 2 and 12, and then square root, and we'll see what we get. 2 squared plus 12 squared equals our QR squared. 2 squared plus 12 squared is going to equal 148. And then we just got to square root it, and that'll tell us what QR is. And 148, square root of that is roughly 12.2. So again, we have 3 numbers here. QR is 12.2. Let's put that on our picture up here. 12.2. PR was 5.8. That's in green. PQ is 9.5. That's in red on our picture. And so remember, now we want to tell if this is right, acute, or obtuse. So now we got to pick whatever side's biggest, and that'll be C. So 12.2 is the biggest number, so that's got to be C. So we'll come down here, and let's have us look this color. We'll square 12.2. We'll see what we get. And then remember, we square A and B together, so we'll do 5.8 squared plus 9.5 squared. And then what we want to see is C squared equal to, greater than, or less than the other two squared? So 12.2 squared is, if we're not rounding at all, is going to give us 148. 5.8 squared plus 9.5 squared, unrounded, is going to give us 124. 148 is bigger than 124. It's greater than. And anytime, as you remember, C squared is greater than A squared plus B squared, it's an obtuse triangle. So this time C squared was greater, so this time we will say obtuse. All right. It's quite a bit of work. You should be pros at Pythagorean theorem right about now. We've squared a lot of numbers, added them together, and square rooted them incessantly over these last 3 parts. So thank you for working through. That concludes target 15. Tomorrow we'll move on to target 16. But that's it for the target 15 part 3 notes. Thank you very much. Good luck on your target 3 worksheet or your part 3 worksheet. And remember, as always, to keep looking out for the homework review videos to give you a little bit more guidance on these problems and these skills. So have a great day. Thank you very much.